Yo, 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 what's poppin', all my peeps? It is your host with the most renaissance man who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, here, joined by the best of the West. You cannot forget about Sarah Marshall for another edition of Pitts and Sarah's Wrestling Show. Sarah, what's poppin', girl? How we doing?
I just remembered something and I want to say it now before I
Do
forget.
it. Let it out.
So I was able to figure out how to change my username or whatever on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I
There you
changed it
go.
to I was thinking I was like I should probably change it to what my Twitter name is because
Mm-hmm.
that's what people know. But
Yeah.
right now it is just Sarah Marshall XO. So if you are watching
Okay.
this on Twitter or wherever listening to this, if you want to follow my YouTube, then I guess you could just search my username, Sarah Marshall XO. I guess I'll keep it that since I just announced it. But yeah, so I figured that out last night and I was like, oh gosh, just clicked
Good.
in my brain. I was like, I should mention that first because otherwise I'm gonna forget.
Exactly.
You
That's
know?
how we do it. I love
Yeah.
that. We're getting
Yeah.
after it. We're promoting already. There's
Yes.
a lot of promotion been done over the past week in the wrestling world. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously we're not gonna be, going right into Raw or SmackDown because as we've been doing, we got the Raw rebound. All right, we got
Mm-hmm.
Smack Chat. You know what, Sarah? Let's do a poll tomorrow. You and
Okay.
I, on our separate ones, for what we should call the SmackDown, recap show. Because Raw
Mm-hmm.
rebound, I like it. That's not going anywhere. But
I thought
SmackDown,
of
I can't. You thought of
I thought
something?
for Raw. The
Oh,
only
okay.
reason is because of the nostalgia of it, the Raw rewind. Because I remember when when they'll show you,
I
this
like
is
that
what I was
better.
just thinking about.
I
Remember when
kind of
they
like
would
that better.
Yeah, so remember when they would do that? Like they would come back from commercial and they'd be like, "This is the Raw Rewind brought to you by Slim Jim" or whatever, and they'd show you something that happened like 3 weeks ago on Raw, and then you
Sponsored by
knew,
Vugs.
yeah, and then sponsored by 1-800. What was it? There was the other one
One
that
eight
was
hundred
like,
collect.
yeah, 1-800 collect, yeah, that kind of stuff, um, or YJ Stinger, um,
These
or the
commercials are OG.
the fat burner one too. What was that one?
Oh, that one I might. No, I was. I
You
just
might have been
forget it.
you were probably little for that one. But there was one that was like, I
I
don't
was
know if
a
anyone in the chat
very,
remembers.
very intelligent 4-year-old.
Okay, well there was one that it was like a fat burner. But anyways,
I will.
so
We'll find it out. Yes, continue.
I do you remember that? And then they would show you this clip from like 2 weeks ago or whatever, and then that was like what happened next. It was like, okay, so the clip was like Cena and Randy Orton, and then that they were in the ring next, or there was a segment next or whatever. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I was just thinking about that the other day when we were talking Raw Rebound, and I was like, wait, Rewind. That reminds me of that era.
So that's like, I'm down to change it to that because that I just like that better. But is that copyright infringement? That's all I care about. I hope. I don't think it is.
Well,
That's
I mean, we're not trademarking it. I mean, we're just naming it on a YouTube channel. Like,
all
it's
right.
not
Then
the
there.
same as We Talk Wrestling. So
Yeah, that.
that was
I will
ridiculous.
say we did get some brand recognition out of it. People at least got to
Yeah.
know who we are. We just went full heel.
Yeah. They were just like, whatever. Anyway, so I don't have one for SmackDown, but
Okay, so we'll
um,
do a Twitter poll tomorrow. I'll set it, schedule. Can you? Yeah, whatever. We'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll get everything going. I don't follow
here's
wrestling. I'm looking forward. You have a comment already.
D22 Williams. No, he's one of my OGs on my channel
Oh,
for
we love OGs
Pat's
here.
content. So he says, I don't follow wrestling, but look forward to you jumping back into Pat's football next season. Sarah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. I
Happy
did
New Year,
post
my dude.
on my community page that I've been posting a lot of wrestling stuff recently because we decided to transition to YouTube instead of just audio. But I will be doing Patriot stuff soon. So I'm trying to just figure it all out and get some video ideas together, trying to get a schedule together. So don't worry, I will be back. Appreciate you guys. We also have Ron 94. He is one of the OGs of my channel as well. He says, "What's good? What's up?" And we have David. He's an OG as well. And he said,
Well, I
"Stack
mean,
2."
that's
Yes, Stacker
that's
2. Stacker 2.
stacked.
Yeah, Stacker 2. Dude, that was like a fat burner that they would. Yeah. See, David knows. David knows. But yes, do you remember it now? Now
Yeah,
that
I
we
do. No, the thing is, I do because these commercials were just the most absurd things ever. And
Mhm.
being like, a 4 or 5 year old watching this, and it's
Oh.
really, for 14 to 34-year-olds, like I
Mhm.
was in a kid in a candy shop. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Um, wow. That is,
So anyway, so we'll say Raw Rewind. We'll figure it out for SmackDown. But yeah, I like that.
all right. So we're going to jump right into our lemon and rosebuds because we don't want to be lemons. We want to be
Yes.
rosebuds.
Mhm.
And I'm going to jump in with my rosebud. Usually, as the host with the most, I
Mhm.
extend the guest to start, the other,
It's fine.
but here's the thing, Sarah, it's because we kind of have some breaking news in a way, something that's been more rumored around. It's a developing story with the whole WWE buying shit going on.
Okay.
Wrestling ops, and this is credible, so this is why I'm saying it.
Okay.
AEW, owned by the Khan family, is
It's
interested in
no. No. There is no way. I don't even okay, so basically what he's going to say is the Khans, aka Tony and is his name Shad?
Shad.
Shad. Um who owns the Jags, who is Tony's daddy, are
Like a crown, baby.
allegedly interested in buying WWE. Um I call bullshit because this is the thing. Do I think they would try and buy it? Abso-effing-lutely. Do I think that? Of course I do. They would be kind of foolish in a way to not try to if they know that it's up for sale. However, do you really think that a company like WWE would even consider selling to their competition? There, to me, there's no way. And I said this to my friend that I was talking about it with. I feel like there's no way, not even in Vince's hell, that he would do that ever.
Okay. Okay.
You're just
There's
gonna
good
you're gonna
points
try
here.
and be like, yeah, he would. Stop it.
Yes, because that,
No,
of course I am, because
of
I
course you would.
am the optimist here. And,
Why is that being optimistic? That would be
what do you mean,
horrible
why is
for.
that being
It would
optimistic?
be
Do you know the
horrible.
amount of wrestling we'll be able to
That would be
see?
no, that would be absolutely horrific.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
that
No, it'd be awesome.
but this is the thing. We or have we not discussed that competition is good for wrestling and for things like that? Have we not
Correct.
discussed? Okay. So then how would this be a benefit to either company? They would be erasing their competition by merging. That doesn't make any
But it's
sense.
still competition because at this point, like, all right, like wrestling is not what it is with the competition and all that shit now. Like, you can still do very well as a wrestling promotion or organization and not be in competition with the other guy. Like WWE and AEW standalone are different. It's because they're different. And that's why I think the merger could work in a way. And with how shit's going on now and how the fourth wall has just been shattered to pieces. And when it comes to this side of things and the amount of, I would say, opportunities that were not around 20, 25, 30 years ago, I don't know. It seems like it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that I agree with it, I'm for it or whatever. I'm just saying that there is a room for it in this nonsensical world that we live in right now with the amount of wrestling that actually goes on.
See, like, I mean, I'm not saying it could never happen. Obviously, anything can happen. I'm just saying I don't see it happening because I don't see Vince ever um um
I
um
would not put that up there.
no,
Uh,
I'm not. So I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second. Um, no, I just don't see it happening. But from what I did read is that Nick Khan has apparently already met with Disney,
this is
which
yes.
this is something that I was very interested in
So,
because obviously Disney is Disney, right? But then they also own like ESPN and National Geographic, so it's like Disney isn't just Disney movies and like kid stuff anymore. And then I saw people were talking about the possibilities of what a Disney ownership could be. And first of all, it would be easy because they already have Disney Plus. So if they ever wanted to like take it out of Peacock, they could already make it onto their own little platform. Not to mention, imagine the possibilities of Disney theme parks adding WWE stuff.
Already been talking about this with people. It's
Yeah,
like,
so that would
could
be
you?
so awesome. Like, I don't know if it would be part of Disney or if it maybe go to like Universal side or something like that, but like it's still, imagine having like a Hall of Fame
Yes,
there.
that's what I was just
Like,
about to say.
yeah,
You
they
actually
could
get a
have,
physical Hall of Fame that people
yeah,
can go to, and you
yeah.
could legitimately make an entire museum out of it. Because that's what basically
Well,
that's what Hall of Fames are. They're just
they have that
glorified museums.
entire gigantic warehouse full of stuff that I'm like, well, I get that you hold on to basically everything, but like, how cool would it
Which is
be to have
smart.
it be like Ripley's Believe It or Not type of thing, where they like just add stuff to it or like replace things?
Oh
Like,
my
oh,
god,
we have the
absolutely.
Ric Flair exhibit, the Hulk Hogan exhibit, whatever. Like, it's just a temporary thing, even. Like, that would be awesome. And I like the idea of that, obviously. I
Oh my
don't
god,
hate
it
like
needs
if
to happen.
Netflix were to buy it, NBC were to buy it. I think those are
Netflix would
more
buy it?
who?
That's an interesting move.
Netflix, is that what you said?
Yeah, that'd be a
Netflix,
very interesting move.
yeah, that is there apparently a possibility. I don't know exactly how interested they are. Obviously, no one really knows because there's a reason we were discussing the fact that the Saudis bought it the other night because people were just passing around rumors and people thought it was legitimate. So we don't really know what's going on, but
Technically, we're as
allegedly,
legitimate as them right now because of that.
yeah, well, and now it's apparently Netflix is interested, which is interesting because they're trying to branch out and like expand their brand and what they have. And again, another good streaming platform for WWE if they ever wanted to remove themselves from Peacock, because I haven't personally had a ton of issues with Peacock, but I do miss like WWE Network. Like, I miss that
Yes.
ease and the fact that it's just basically in the US that it's on Peacock. It would be kind of nice for it to be either like combined with Netflix, who almost everyone has Netflix at this point, especially since so many people are getting rid of their cable. But it would be kind of nice to have it on a platform similar to Netflix. I feel like it would just be so much more easy to access, to use. There wouldn't be as many issues. You don't really hear
Yeah.
about people having issues with Netflix, you know?
No, and I used to. I mean, I was getting old WWE pay per views in the Netflix DVD in the mail with the red envelope, and I
Mm-hmm.
would watch them on my laptop. Like just
Yeah.
so. What point is that they could build their own library of the WWE network in a way, just because I see what you're saying with um, the WWE network and Peacock. I like Peacock for the fact that
You
I
get
can have the,
extras.
huh?
You get extras. It's not just WWE stuff.
Yeah, it's like I do like the true crime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think you can watch Sunday Night Football on there too. So like,
That's true.
obviously that's an added perk. But you know, for the WWE Network to be a thing was special. It was a very
Yeah.
special thing. I mean, I first one in line to buy it. I was all that type of jazz. And now with going to a streaming service like that, you dilute it. You dilute that whole special streaming service for just your content, and
Mm-hmm.
9.99 a month. How many times did you hear that when it first came? Nine ninety
Well,
nine a month.
and if they
All
were
that.
to ever do it, it's possible that they would change it because Peacock is only like what, $5? It's like,
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like
so
that.
yeah, no,
The
I know,
whole like
nine ninety
purpose.
nine, 9.99. Yeah,
It was every like five
it's like
seconds.
when Tout was a thing. Everything was on
Bro,
Tout.
do you remember? I do. Tout is one of the most forgotten social media platforms ever.
Yeah, no, I know,
Like,
but it was a thing back in the
it,
day. Back in the day, aka like 2012. But
that's back in the day now. That's 10 years ago.
I know, 11. Um, isn't that crazy? I know. The last few years have been a blur. I feel like we should just like
Absolute blur.
forget about 2020 to 2023 at this point. It's like
It's
those years didn't exist. Can we just take our birthdays back? Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's like a red shirt year. I feel like I
yeah,
legitimately had two
years.
red shirt years.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree.
So like when
I
I go
agree.
out to bars now and I'm like, "Hello, I'm Pat Pitts. I'm 24." Like that technically.
Yeah, I wish I could say, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm 30." And it's like, are you though? Are you?
People,
I'm like,
yeah, you
yeah,
can
I can be.
live your gimmick,
Yeah, I
girl.
guess.
Live your gimmick.
Well, it's like my aunt, she stopped counting after she turned 27. So like even though she's been like 27 for 27 years, it's like she's still
I
27.
don't know my uncle's age. I have an uncle that I don't know his age
Oh.
because he just doesn't tell. I'm like, how old are you? He's like, you're go get me a beer. It's incredible.
It
Uh,
doesn't matter.
so I'm gonna
Anyway,
read some comments before we
yeah.
get into
Yes.
the lemon and rosebud because what a tangent we just went on there.
Yeah.
DW, did you know that Muhammad Ali said he based his entire flamboyant persona on gorgeous
Gorgeous
George?
George.
Also, that was the inspiration for Ric Flair
And I
as well.
actually have heard this before. I totally forgot until I read his comment, but I had heard that, which I thought was kind of interesting because when you think about that dynamic between professional wrestling and like legitimate fighting, like boxing, there's been so much like, head butting there because people are like, you can't be a fan of both. Like, this is fake. It's a disrespect to, actual sports and fighting or whatever. So it's always interesting because I mean, I would say almost every single person on the earth says Muhammad Ali is the best, the greatest to ever do it.
He
And
is
if he's crediting a professional wrestler for something that he brought
insane.
into his own life, then doesn't that kind of legitimize it a little bit? Like, doesn't that kind of bridge that gap that it's like you can appreciate what he did, but also appreciate wrestling because he did and he was the greatest to ever do it. So,
Muhammad Ali.
mhm.
Stephanie did just resign. Raw
Yes.
94.
And allegedly it is because she did not agree about signing or selling the company, which I don't blame her because she wanted the company afterwards. But
Oh my god, if I was RB Biz too, I am so with
well,
her.
then a clip from when she was on Howard Stern from like 20 years ago just started surfacing on here because they were like, well, when your dad retires or whatever, like, is he going to give you the company? And she's like, well, I mean, I hope so. And then the host, I can't remember her name. Is it Robin? I don't remember his
Yeah.
co-host. And then she's like, well, he couldn't like cut you out of it, right? And she was like, well, I don't. She's like, I hope not, but like anything can happen. And I'm like, that's so messed up because it's basically what happened, and that's why she resigned. But again, this is what I said. He doesn't care. So like,
And then many articles about it. So if honestly, if you're a little historian like ourselves, go check that out and learn about how Gorgeous George inspired the greatest of all time. So Sarah, that was my rosebud actually. So we're still on topic now. What is your rosebud of the week?
What was your rosebud?
How I just love these. I loved the AEW, the con news.
Oh, that's right.
Spiced,
Yes.
it tickled my fancy.
Oh, okay. So am I just saying stuff of the week? Like, it doesn't have to be Raw
What's
or
your
whatever.
favorite part? Like, what was
Okay.
the best
Well,
thing in wrestling?
Okay, so
Not
one
anything.
thing that I'll say this is my rosebud, and it's only because it goes kind of in line with what you're saying. So I think it was just like the thing about the WWE being sold on Tuesday night to a Saudi owned business, whatever. The reason I only take some sort of positive out of that is because I feel like it's the only time collectively as a fan base of something that we were all like, this sucks, I hate it, this can't be happening, whatever. So it was kind of nice to like, for even just a couple hours, we were all on the same page. Like, there were some trolls, especially the ones that are diehard to like AEW or something. They just thought it was hilarious to see the downfall of WWE. But
the evil in the world.
the trolls. But I thought it was kind of cool because like there's virtually no way to just all agree on something when it comes to wrestling. I mean, that's how life is too, but especially wrestling. Like, you can say Hulk Hogan's the greatest and people will say, no, he's not, or something. And I'm not saying he is, but you know what I mean.
No,
But it was just kind of interesting for just a few hours. All of us were sitting there on the edge of our seats, so upset, all talking about how we were just going to abandon WWE if it was the truth, and hating on Vince McMahon.
It was nice for the wrestling community to come together and be like, no, we can't have this happen. Like, really? Like, and they listen to the fans. You love to see it. That was really nice. What's your lemon? Because I'm still trying to think of one. You know, I'm trying to really still think of one.
I mean, just to go with that, because I feel like that's just the biggest thing that's
Oh,
impacted me this week.
it's its own.
I'm gonna go along with Stephanie, and I'm really upset and bummed that she left. I don't blame her for a single bit, but like, even if you, I don't know if she posted it on her Instagram. I believe that she did, but if you look at all of the responses that she got from wrestlers,
Oh,
especially women wrestlers, it just like kind of breaks your heart because she was so impactful behind the scenes, and that's been said for so long, especially with the women's division. I mean, she's been a champion for the women, just as much as Triple H has been, for a long time. And so it's just it's one of those things that's like bittersweet because it's like, of course, you know, if she has the luxury to be able to just stay home and like be a mom and do things how whatever she wants to do
yeah.
with her life.
Next
But it
chapter.
sucks. Yeah, and it sucks though that like it's kind of watching a dream be ripped away from somebody because
Yeah.
it just seemed like that was what was going to happen the second that Vince left. It was going to become Triple H and Stephanie's thing, and so I don't know. I just felt like that. I couldn't even write. Like I normally write at night for football articles in case people aren't familiar, and I couldn't write that night. Like I had no energy in me. I was like so drained because
Yeah.
it was
I
the
can
Stephanie
understand
news,
that.
and it was the Saudi news, and then it was just like, okay, how am I supposed to focus on anything else right now? Like,
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
totally agree with that.
yeah,
Um, my lemon is okay. My lemon is that Vince is being sued. However, it is not for the reason that you would think.
okay.
I love this news actually. Like I'm happy that,
Because
he-
we briefly
I'm
touched on this, I think, too, that
yeah,
this was
like he's
coming.
finally getting sued by a board member.
Mm-hmm.
Um and at first I would, was like whatever, like but the more I think about it, is I have this weird feeling that he's just going to get off and he's still going to be on the board. And usually I'm all for, Vince sticking up for himself. It's his company and all that. But, um, after my dad retired, semi-retired, this summer, I've seen him become a different person in the best way possible, because he's not consumed by work,
Mm-hmm.
6 days out of the week. He spends more time with his grandchildren, my niece and nephew, and he's in the house reading, and him and my
Yeah.
mom are taking day trips, Um, and then he goes back to work and he does his, because you can't cut, quit it cold turkey. Some people, if
Yeah,
you're in
not
that business for
especially
so
when it's
long,
something you made.
exactly. So like, I totally understand him come back to some capacity. However, the way he's going about it is very power hungry, and it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
egotistical, narcissistic. And I hate
Mhm.
using those words about him because I do think of Vince as, an idol in a way, in a way. And it's sad because, you're seeing someone that just like, bro, step away, just
Mhm.
go, enjoy your life. You did it. You have all the money in the world until you die to be okay and not starve. Okay.
Mhm.
Like, just go do it, man. Just go and be a family man. Because that's so much more rewarding at the end of the day. And for him to do this stuff, and now Stephanie's leaving, it's like, all right, as the fan, I'm like, whatever, the product's not going to change with the change that they've made. But the
Mhm.
human in person in me is like, damn, that sucks. That's shitty.
Yeah, I think I get it, but I think that's also probably giving Vince too much credit
I
because
give
I
people too
think
much credit sometimes, so
yeah, and I think,
one of my weaknesses.
they say I don't know how to put it, but when people talk about billionaires, it's like a lot of the time they are very selfish people, and that's how they get the amount of money that they do, and they will sacrifice virtually anything to further themselves, whether it's in their career, in the world, in their industry, whatever they're trying to do, whatever it is to try and get that money. And I feel like that's kind of how Vince is. I mean, he's willing to sacrifice relationships with his family, with his own children in order to further himself. So I feel like, you know, I don't think that when he retired that it was because he wanted to. I think it was because he felt like he had to, and it wasn't permanent. It was like, okay, well, I'll come back when this blows over. And so since he's finally thinking, oh, no one's talking about these allegations anymore, then
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and whatever. So I think that's the part that's like, he didn't leave because he wanted to be a grandpa. He left because he felt like he had to, but he was like, I'll be back. Like, don't worry about it, you know?
Yeah. It's sad. That was, I would say, my
I know.
only
Yeah, but
sad little tidbit from the week of wrestling, because it's been a crazy week. Like, my honestly, my initial rosebud before I saw the news about AEW and merger and all that was that AEW was 5 stars the other night. At the Kia Forum, wherever it is in LA. I like how they went with Tony Storm instead of Mercedes. And the ending of it makes more sense. So once that happened, I was like, oh, okay, I like
mhm.
this. Like, it was not, as people call Tony Khan, a mark, or, he's a fanboy, all that. I think the fanboy move would
Yeah,
have been to bring in Mercedes Monet. But to
money.
go Monet,
Money.
Monet,
Yeah, it's not Monet. It's like you're saying money, but money.
Monet, because that's the
Yeah.
accent. Okay.
Money. Yeah.
So to have him go fully in with the AEW, like, nope, this is what we got, and we're gonna use what, like, props to you. Like, that was awesome. And then for Kenny Omega to hold up the trios title in that ladder match, and now he's a double champion after Wrestle Kingdom, which that was something we was incredible. It was so good, but this shit is just like, there's so much going on right now. And
Mhm.
we're in Rumble season, baby, too. It's
I
incredible.
know. I know, and I'm hoping that, we're right and that things are not going to be drastically changing because it is such a terrible time for that to possibly be happening. We've been talking about how excited we are that we're going to be able to see a first Royal Rumble run by Triple H and WrestleMania. So, thankfully it looks like the Saudi deal was a scam, and this is something I don't want to keep talking about it and I don't want to beat it to death or anything, but this is something that spoke to me. I don't know. This is just a thought I had, and I guess it kind of plays into even sports. It could play into anything, but I just felt like in this case, it was a little bit insane. But the people that were reporting it as fact have been legitimate in wrestling news, at least as far as like people who are in the know and whatever. It's like, okay, this person broke this, like they've never lied before. And so what is crazy to me is that they said something that is so huge to happen and they stated it as fact, and now it's like, now that they're basically outed as that wasn't true, like nothing happens. It's just like they just continue going on, and like there's no repercussions for blatantly lying or for
Yeah.
having, like, there's no apology that maybe, oh, I guess my trusted sources were incorrect or whatever, I got a bad lead. Like there's none of that. It's just like we're just moving on and acting like it never happened. I just think that's absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's where I will be hopeful and say, like, it's people like us now that are taking the reins. Like,
Yeah.
I just, it's a different era. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And
Okay.
with that, transition now to dream matches, Sarah.
uh,
You know, uh,
yes.
we we have some time before the Rumble. Okay, we have
Hmm.
some time still, and with now the Raw Rewind and
Hmm.
our SmackDown recap show, we don't need to focus this part of our what?
No, it's not a good one. I came
Oh,
up with
you
one for
had it?
SmackDown, but it's not a good one. No, I still have it, but I feel like it's not a good one.
Well, just throw it out there, and then maybe we can.
SmackDown Snapshot is not good.
No,
I know. That's why I was
okay,
like, never mind. Once I heard
no,
it in
but at
my
least you
head, I was
got it
like,
out
girl,
there. So, but at least you got
okay.
it out there.
Yes.
But yeah, so now with that, we have so much content coming, not just from this show. So now we have the ability to still do this and show our actual fandoms, not just have to break down what's going on in the wrestling world currently and then try to squish it in, we can actually
Hmm.
show, oh, what type of fan are we? Oh, he's more of a this type of style between this style. She likes this and whatnot. And that's where I think I'm excited, for 2023 for this. And to kick things
Yeah.
off, I mean, dream matches. What better way to get to know a wrestling fan, I'd say, than by asking them, what would be your dream match if you could book? And I was thinking about this last night, a little transition into the topic. Sarah, when kids are in school and they're doodling, and
Hmm.
not paying attention, because every kid doesn't pay attention in class, but they're all doing something different. I used to make match cards
Oh
for
my
my
gosh.
wrestling action figures, and then I would go home, and because obviously you have no homework, I
Yeah.
would do my own shows with action figures
Such
using
a boy.
LimeWire for the theme songs and
Oh my
entrances.
god.
I went,
Getting viruses on your mom's computer.
oh yeah, oh yeah, we got rid of that desktop years later, but
Yeah.
the point, but I like it was it. I was just making dream matches all the time with these action figures because I not only had WWE guys, but TNA, and then
Hmm.
all that. So like dream matches, I love doing it. I love talking about it, and I wrote some down here. You wrote some down yourself, and this is where I will let you start and please us with your
Okay.
first initial ones, because that's a disclaimer here. We kind of went ape shit on this,
Hmm.
and kind of just went word vomit. I mean, so we're not going to touch all of them, but I'm at least, you do what you want, Sarah. You're your own person, but I'm going to keep a running list of dream matches. And when I think of one that would be appropriate, or if the topic assumes, you go back to your list. So, Sarah, you start off with yours.
Okay. So one that can actually happen, I think this is I mean, it's only like one of two that I think that could actually still happen. Um because all the other ones are either retired or they are no longer with us. Oh, actually no, there's another one that's later,
Oh, that happened.
but I would say Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles. I feel like that would be fire.
Oh,
So good.
that would be
Um
really good.
that was the first one that I thought of and I was like fire. Second one, John Cena, because I have to,
Have to.
versus Hulk Hogan. Back, obviously, not like 80-year-old Hulk Hogan. And the reason why I love this too is because we saw Hogan and Rock, and that was like Hogan like passing the torch to the Rock.
Yeah.
Then we saw Rock to Cena. We saw
Mhm.
twice, but it is what it is. But I feel like when we're breaking down the similarities between them, it's more like Cena and Hogan are have a lot more in common than he and The Rock did
Oh,
because they
absolutely.
were both around in the company for way longer than The Rock. They were both predominantly baby faces and they very much pandered to the kids. So I feel like it would just be really interesting to see that because let's say they were both baby faces at the time too, like
Mhm.
imagine that atmosphere because there are diehard Hulkamaniacs and there are diehard members of the C Nation. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? Like, who
Yeah.
do you root for? Like, who are you against? Who do you want to see win? Who do you want to lose? So I thought that would be cool and I'll do my third one and then I'll give you the floor for a minute.
All right.
But this one, I feel like there's no way that I couldn't say this one because I feel like if this isn't on your list, then I don't know what kind of old school wrestling fan you are. But DX versus the NWO,
Yeah, that's
like
standard.
come on, but like WCW NWO, we
Oh,
don't. I
absolutely.
mean,
No,
we
not this.
acknowledge, yeah. No, we don't like
Not
we
Big
acknowledge,
Show and Booker
yeah.
T. Like, yeah,
Yes, well, but we
Shawn
also don't
Michaels
like
was
to.
never in the NWO.
No,
Okay, I don't care.
yeah, no, it's just the 3-on-3. But what I meant too is like I don't mean WWE's version of the NWO because Vince just did that to squash them and
Yeah,
whatever. So I'm saying like WCW,
yeah.
and I'm like the whole reason, and this is my opinion. You can disagree with me all you want, but I'm right. Um, the reason why DX exists is because of the NWO. So I feel like it would just be such an epic match for those two teams to face off because I mean
That would be
The
incredible.
NWO walked so DX could run. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
The biggest what if in history,
I
one of
know.
the biggest what ifs in wrestling history is what if they opened the door at Nitro when DX invaded. That might be one of the
I
biggest what ifs ever because they, the wrestlers wanted it. Nash was saying behind these, like, yeah, just let them open up, see what happens. Like,
well, and
WWE was the frat house. You know,
yeah.
that just whatever happened, it was the inmates running the asylum where WWE was kind of corporate America, but like the fun, funky kind now, like this new age one where it's like, yeah, we meditate for our lunch period, like that type of shit, but 90s. So that's just my
Imagine the money that could have been made from that feud.
oh my god.
Like, I mean, they were like each other's equivalent in different companies. So it's kind of like, I don't know. That would have been just amazing. So anyway, so those are my first three.
All right. Um, I'm gonna pick through mine just because like some of them are just like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But um, my first one here, The Rock versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That, to be honest, that's the real feud of who's the head of the table.
The bloodline.
That's like the bloodline, but like the pre-years.
Mm-hmm. Like the original founders.
Yeah, like the ancient times of
the founding fathers.
the Brahma Bull versus the Samoan Submission Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Motor City Machine Guns versus New Day.
Ooh, okay.
That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember
so drastically different too.
That's what I'm saying.
Which makes it more interesting. Those segments, like backstage moments and stuff with them, would be so weird. Like I can't even imagine like how that would go down, but it would be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in Consequences Creed is Xavier Woods.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who doesn't know, so like I just think that'd be so good with the chemistry they already have. And then all right, let me give a couple. If you're watching this right now, give your dream matches in the comments, and we will do a little rundown after this before we hit that 3 count. I have your NWO. So you used your NWO versus DX. I said Outsiders versus DX. I'm excluding Hogan.
Okay. So does that include Pac then? X-Pac? Or is it just
he could come out as 1, 2, 3 Kid and interfere?
Okay. But which two members of DX then? Triple H and HBK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like it. That would be good.
That's how you book that in a way where it's like, everyone wins. I have this one. Bruno Sammartino versus Roman Reigns.
I saw that one. Cool. I saw that one online anyway when I was looking up to see what
Dudleys
others
versus the Usos.
That would be really good.
And then I'll give a couple women's ones before I toss it back to you. Okay. Liv versus Trish.
Okay.
Liv versus Lita.
Okay.
China versus Jade Cargill.
Okay. I have a couple of these similar ones on here.
And then China versus Bianca.
Okay.
Bianca versus Jade Cargill, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then Becky Lynch versus Ivory.
I would love that.
Ivory does not get the credit that she deserves. I think if you give Ivory his right to censor.
I agree. I was watching something about her not too long ago. I don't know if it was like an interview or something like that. But yeah, I do think that when we talk about the women of like the Attitude Era, that obviously I love Trish, I love Lita, but I feel like, Ivory is definitely one that's consistently left off. And it was like she was a workhorse. So and she did so much. So I feel like she definitely deserves more credit. It's unfortunate that she doesn't.
And then I just saw this one. This one's hilarious. Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah versus Damage Control.
Oh my god! Can you? No, I have one that's really funny, or at least I think it's really funny.
Okay.
When I first read it, I thought it was really funny because I was looking up what other people had said that their dream matches were, so I had to write this one down. Cactus Jack versus Mankind versus Dude Love
Oh my god, I have one very similar to that.
versus Mick Foley
Where is it? I have Three Faces of Foley versus the Wyatt Six.
versus Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy, and yeah. No, I know. That's like, but we've never seen them in the same room. So, but yeah.
That
So,
would be hilarious.
yeah, I know. So I was like, I want to write that one down.
That's
It's not.
Dude Love and Howdy.
Yeah. So I was like, it's not even like, my dream match per se, but I was like, I mean, I would be entertained
That's
because I
good.
mean, there was that Royal Rumble where I think we saw all three faces of Foley come out.
One
So
of the greatest performances in entertainment. The
yeah,
man went out and did a Rumble match 3 times, 3
yeah.
different characters. Oh,
And it's like I have a leather mask that barely covers my face, but I am different. It's like, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so a few of mine, Jeff Hardy versus Seth Rollins. Fire. Absolute fire.
Jeff Hardy versus Seth. Oh, that would be good.
That would be so good.
Right.
Eddie Guerrero versus Shawn Michaels. We were robbed of that, unfortunately. And I say robbed of that in the most respectful way possible
The most.
because obviously Eddie is one of my all-time favorites, and Eddie passed away unfortunately before it could happen. So that's why I'm saying we were robbed.
Damn Grim Reaper.
I know. That would have been so good, and it's one of those matches that kind of makes me sad for Eddie because I'm like, although he had such a great career, especially if we're just gonna even focus on WWE, not even like WCW or anything else, it's like he had so much left. And even though he was 36, it's like it just sucks so bad that he left when he did because there was so much more for him to do, and to have that be something that had been played around with even that early because he passed in November. So they were already talking about this being at WrestleMania 6 months later. It's like, oh man, like that could have been one of the greatest matches of all time. And it's just unfortunate that we never got to see it, but I guess we can, play around with the idea. I have 2 women's matches on here. Trish Stratus versus Sasha Banks. I feel like that would just be so good because I feel like they're very similar in how they are in the ring. And we're talking about like young Trish, obviously. Like as much as I love Trish being around and having, matches and whatever, I want to see prime Trish versus Sasha Banks. And then I had Chyna versus Beth Phoenix.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Like I was gonna say Rhea Ripley, but like we haven't gotten there yet because we're kind of talking like
that's the thing. Rhea's not like
she's not there yet. She's not there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that would have been sick. And then one which, semi controversial, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I think if you guys hear the match idea, you're gonna probably agree. Chris Benoit versus Daniel Bryan in a submission match.
See, that's
like unfair. That's like unfair.
That's a 5-star match.
I know. You don't even have to like see it. You're just like, yeah, okay, that's on the card, 5 stars. Like you don't even have to see it. Like it doesn't have to take place.
It, and it's just I'm in. Oh my god,
so good.
All right, so we're gonna jump into my tag team.
Okay, I don't have any of those, so.
Well, I just have so many, and I'm not kidding. Some of these are really funny, and you'll like one of them. Okay. We have Andre the Giant and the Big Show versus Braun Strowman and the Great Khali.
Oh my god. You couldn't have even like put Amos in it instead?
He's a special ref.
Okay. Okay. Or Braun Strowman, big meaty men slapping meat.
Eminem versus Pretty Deadly.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, no, I think I would have to go with Yes Boy. Yeah. I liked Eminem. I love their music, iconic entrances. I love it, but like Pretty Deadly, like
I hated Eminem.
I couldn't stand him. I was a big John Morrison girl. Like he was my favorite, like my crush on Tough Enough. So he was so hot to me. So like him coming out like that with like the belt hanging out of his pants, like whoo, so I was all about it.
We have America's Most Wanted versus the Street Profits.
Okay.
That would be really good. Yeah. Beer Money versus the APA.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I just had this idea about the APA. Now I can't remember.
Young Bucks versus the Street Profits.
That would be fire. And I don't even like the Young Bucks, but God, I was gonna say,
Super Kick Pate.
no, I don't like them. There's
And
nothing
then to round
likable.
out the whatever you call it, tag team, the Samoa Joe and The Rock, resolve their
Mhm.
feud, and then they team to take on Roman and another member of the Bloodline.
Sami Zayn.
I knew you were gonna say Sami
I'm
Zayn.
just
I knew
joking.
it.
Just joking. No, those sound good.
Yeah,
It's
those
like
are
it's so like lame that we're like saying this, but we'll never see it unless you want to. Oh my gosh, you know how
unless
you were
you want to
saying you want
merge
to.
WWE and AEW, then
No,
yeah, you could.
no, I was gonna say since you were like, oh, I might like upload some like video game streams. Why don't you like reenact our dream matches on WWE 2K?
Well, you're just really previewing the nonsense wrestling federation, which I really like.
Yeah, so then you can just do that. Give me all the
That's what
matches.
that's what it is. We're gonna be yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. You were
Oh
just like,
yeah, that's part of
oh,
the plans of 2023 is these dream
oh.
matches are going to be
Well,
acted out in some way, shape, or form.
I'm not a mind reader,
I'm
so
sorry.
I didn't know. So I only have a couple other ones. I have Shawn Michaels versus Dolph Ziggler. Chef's kiss. So good. So good.
Okay.
DDP versus Randy Orton. Diamond Cutter versus the RKO. Daniel Bryan versus Nakamura.
That would be lit.
Very good. This is my last one that I have, I believe. This one only because of like the absolute insanity that could be their feud and their storyline because they're so different. I would love it. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk.
Oh yeah, that would be really good.
The jokes write themselves. Like, we had the brief little stint of like Jericho trying to get, pouring whiskey on CM Punk and then tripping on it, which he was pissed at himself about because he's like, this just ruined the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, it did. But just like, like Stone Cold, so good on the mic. Him talking shit to CM Punk, great. Him chugging beers in front of, a straight edge guy, so good. Just like pouring beer over him after he wins. I love it. So good. We do have a few people in here.
I have a couple. I want to get some.
Okay, you have more. Okay.
I have just like I want to go with the crazy ones that you like laugh at. These are ones that like if you were to watch it, you would just laugh or be like, "This is just nonsense." Let me find it here. We have Abyss versus Kane in a Ring of Fire Monsters ball match.
Dang. Okay.
JS versus Bloodline would be good. Ryback versus Rikishi.
Ew.
Strictly because Ryback has to take the stink face.
Okay. I feel like that's not enough punishment for him, but
well, it's a long one.
Okay. 5 minutes of the stink face. 5 minutes.
Shark Boy versus Lava Girl.
Oh my god.
So
stupid.
And then the last one to round it out, the Doctor of Thugonomics versus Platinum Matt Caster in a rap battle.
Oh my god. That I just feel like you're trying to set Cena up to fail because he's like not I don't know because that oh my gosh.
Spit.
Dude, wait, I know he's good. I mean, he's
what do you
the
mean
love
setting
of
up
my
the
life.
fail then?
Because I feel like I don't know, I guess if you're talking about prime Thugonomics Cena, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so if you could just like fast forward to the future.
No, it could be now. I think he could spit a rhyme or two, but I'm saying like
Cena's not over in that way though, the way that guy is. Also, I saw
he was though.
Yeah, back then, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but if you think if he came out and rapped at Mania.
I know. Dude, I almost cried. But anyway, so I saw a clip. So I had a friend who was at the show, the AEW show last night. And I don't know their names, but the guy that raps, what you just said was Max Caster. So he came out and he had this on his Instagram story. So he started, to do his rap or whatever. And he like messed up. So he had to stop. And then he was like, okay. And like everyone's laughing because they were like, what? And then he was like, okay, Los Angeles, let's do it again. And he like turns around and like comes back out or whatever. And so my friend was like, yeah, we're not going to see that on Friday because they're definitely going to cut that out. So I just thought it was funny because, like I think people forget that kind of stuff happens. So I just thought it was funny.
That is pretty,
Um,
yeah, that's interesting.
but anyway, so we did get some
We did.
suggestions from David, so I will pick out a
Oh,
few.
you will. Okay.
He agrees, or he says Eddie versus Seth. So good.
Would be fire.
That
That
would
would
be
be
so
fire.
good. He also says Kenny Omega versus Eddie. You can speak to that because I'm not, I'm
Kenny
not
Omega might
familiar.
be the greatest wrestler on planet Earth.
Okay, all
I'm
right,
just,
without revealing your love interest,
I, that is a fact of life.
the Elite versus DX,
The, the elite.
Evolution versus Undisputed Era,
That would be, that would be pretty cool. Adam
Adam Cole
Cole.
versus
The
HBK.
pop when he went into the Bebe.
No, I saw that. That was like I almost wanted to share it, the video from last night. I almost wanted to share it on my Twitter for the simple fact to prove to people who crap on wrestling or who think like it's only for kids or that it's like no one really cares. I want to be like, when have you ever heard anything this loud at like a sporting event or something? Like you can't tell me that people don't care or like that they're not into it or it's lame or whatever. I'm like, listen to this crowd. Like,
It
listen
was
to that. That wasn't when he just returned. It was him coming back out for his match. So it wasn't like they were just like popping because it was like, oh my god, he's back. It's like, no, that was later.
yeah.
So it's like, did you hear that? That was, I mean, just watching it, you could tell it was deafening if you were
It
there.
was unbelievable. I fucking love Adam Cole too. I just Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, make it happen. I don't know if it probably has,
it'll probably happen anyway.
or it probably has, so I can go watch it. But I would like to see that. Yeah, you pick.
I wanted to shout out D22 Williams before he left. He did give us a big old compliment. He said, "You two make a good team, and Sarah's a true journalist." Shout out to him. He says, "One of the best on YouTube. Thank you so much. Respect. Catch you next time. Good night."
There we go. We got a fan.
Shout out to you. I appreciate you so much. He's usually
right
around for my Patriot streams and stuff like that, and he's always commenting. So, got to give love out there to the OGs of my channel. But anyway, so those were our dream matches, at least the ones that we came up with for now. Obviously, we can talk about this forever, but
yeah. Oh, there's so many. There's so many of them.
yes.
I'm gonna start making them. We could like, what if? All right, to build on your idea, what if we did that and we just like commentated it and just talked about those two guys, like the entire
the video game?
Yeah, I would do the stream vid, put on, you do.
Oh yeah.
Stream vid. We do some commentary over it. We silence the announcers in the game because we matter more than them. Stuff
that would be fun because I've never done that before.
Oh,
I haven't had a WWE game since. Well, I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. Maybe PS2 is like the last time that I ever played or owned a game that was a WWE one. I think.
I have the new. Well, I have the new one, so we can do it obviously. And with the new one, you can download like created people. So even though
I know we need to create ourselves, we need to create ourselves.
Well, it's funny you mentioned create self because I have a created character right now. Be a pro mode. It's called My Rise, and I am currently the Intercontinental Champion.
Well, look at you.
And my real
when you
life
create persona, me, I want to be the Raw Women's Champion.
Okay. Well, you got to be Bianca.
Yeah, that's fine. As opposed to Charlotte. Like, what do you think?
You're not getting over with. You're not getting over with Charlotte.
No. So I mean,
you over.
I mean, Bianca's good, obviously, but like she's not Charlotte at this point. So, but yeah, no, I just like the Raw Women's belt because it was the first one. Like when they reintroduced the women's titles, it was like the Raw one was supposed to be like the women's title. So I feel like that one is.
You want the OG, you want the legacy. Okay.
Fair. Yeah, well, because like if I was gonna get a replica, I've always wanted the original women's one that they retired to bring in the Divas title.
Yeah.
I always wanted one of those, and for the longest time they weren't selling them anymore because it was retired. So so I want one of those, but if I were to get one that's like more current, then I would get the Raw one because like I said, it was the original like single women's title. So
yeah.
That's why I'm saying if you're gonna make me champion, make me go for Raw, please.
All right.
Raw 94 says we should play each other. I don't have the game,
destroy you. Like,
well, and you have Xbox, don't you? So
yeah.
My sister.
Can you think of what?
We were always PlayStation. I mean, my sister. Well, my sister played Xbox. I think the last one she had was the 360, and then that was when she transferred over to PlayStation. So like she just got a PS5 for Christmas. So like
Okay.
I can't play you, right? Because they don't play in the same.
No, you can do. I think at this point you can do crossplay. I mean, you
Oh
can do
really?
crossplay in NHL, so you can definitely
Oh
do it
okay.
with 2K.
Oh okay.
Do you? Before we get to the 3 count, try to guess what my finishing move is.
The Canadian Destroyer. I already
Damn
know.
right it is. Greatest finishing
Okay.
move ever. All right, we're into the 3 count. All right, one. If you were to be a wrestler, because we're
Oh
talking
gosh.
about this, we're creating ourselves, and
Yep.
who would your dream opponent be?
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of could. I think I've heard
Wait.
that or whatnot, but
If you create me, can I come out to Jillian's music? Would that be possible?
if
I
she
feel like,
okay,
or Papa Roach.
come on. No, I
I
think
heard-
Jillian's music. I think Jillian is like a downloaded character, but
Okay,
like
well,
a
I want to.
DLC one, not just like a creative.
I
person.
mean, I guess I shouldn't. I guess I could make like a fun one of her, but like I feel like if I'm gonna be me, I have to be like a legit person. Like
I
I
know
can't
you
make.
bomb, man.
Yeah, I can't have that. Like that could be like the joke version of me, but like the legitimate, like
Triple H's
professional
two theme songs.
wrestler that I am.
Yeah.
I would need legitimate music. But I feel like yeah, Trish because I've loved Trish. So I feel like that would be like, you want to go against your hero. So I would love Trish.
Um,
That's my
it's
girl.
David with this.
I know.
Mine.
Oh, wait, those are like his two lovers.
Oh, okay,
Brooke
fair.
and Shane McMahon are like
What's
he's in
happening?
a love triangle with them.
Um,
Those are his Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt, you know.
I would have to say my dream opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say The Rock. I think I would just love to, because like
But
any
like
guy
what
like Kenny
era?
Omega or you know what? No, screw it, Matt Hardy. I would love to get in the ring with Matt Hardy because I feel like him and I could have a good match.
I would want you to do Matt Hardy where he slaps a tornado and dries up the sea. That's the version I would want you. Version 1. Do you not know his song?
Yeah.
I can slap a tornado. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
That's the one.
one.
Yeah, that one. That's the one.
Yeah.
And then he can like put his like Matt fact of the day, like
Matt fact.
I hate
lost to the champ,
Massachusetts
Pat
or
Pitts.
something.
He actually does like Boston. Heard that.
Well, I'm just saying. I was just trying to think of something that was heel like to go against you.
Oh, I would take the rock bottom people's elbow. I would give you the peeps elbow. Dream manager.
Ooh. Well, as a woman, I feel like a lot of the time they have men as their managers, don't they? Or is that like
anyone? Weird? I mean,
oh, I've never thought of that. Paul Heyman. There we go.
Okay.
Paul Heyman.
He's my one, obviously, but for comparison, whatever. Give me the Brain. Give me Bobby the Brain. That would be electric.
Okay, now I'm
already thinking about talking.
I'm thinking about my WWE 2K character. Now I feel like I need him. Can you get managers? Can you like make Paul Heyman your manager in 2K? Well, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I probably played like
oh no, you're good. You're good.
SmackDown versus Raw like 3 or something. I don't know. 2006.
Raw,
2007 I don't know.
Is one of the best
SVR. I don't know.
But
anyway, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
I think I would do Bobby. I would. I mean, you have your Miss Sensational Sherry. Actually, if I'm thinking like she would, you know what? No, I'm changing my answer. If it's not Paul Heyman, it's Sensational Sherry, because she would. I'd win every match. She would just find a way to just finagle me into a world title picture. And I would just end up like, oh my God, he won. Holy shit, he did it. And then like I had to defend it in a cage match the next pay-per-view, and then I lose it. But like for that month, I was a great champion. And then 3, I didn't hit the 2. We missed 2.
Oh.
Kicked out at 1. 3, dream prediction for 2023 to happen. So what is your big dream? Dream big in 2023.
Dream big. You know, okay, so this is okay. I'm going to say my big dream for 2023 would be that they add mid-card titles for the women. I would like to see an intercontinental US title equivalent for the women so that they have more opportunities.
Okay.
I'm all for it.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, do you think we'll get another all women's pay per view within I'll say the next 2 years?
My gut is no, because I think Stephanie was a huge influence behind that. And with her gone, I'm just not sure. I mean, not that I don't not that I don't think that Triple H would try and get it done, but I feel like Stephanie's influence in it was a lot stronger, especially because she was a woman and such an influential woman in the company. Um, I mean, if things could change tomorrow, so I could be completely wrong, but like as
Yeah.
far as right now, I feel like, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna say yes, because this kind of goes in hand with what I've said before. There are so many talented women that are in WWE right now that are coming up in NXT that are going to be returning or making their debut soon. And I feel, you know, I'm a champion for adding an all women's show weekly. Um, so
Yeah.
I feel like there's gonna be a point where they almost have to have an all women's pay per view, whether it's like every 3 months or what it is. I feel like they need to have that because it's the fairest thing to them. Because I mean, even at WrestleMania, it's like they might have 2 women's matches on the entire card over the 2 nights, you know? And it's like
Mm,
for how many women that they have there, there's a lot
there's
more
so many.
that are deserving than only being in the pre-show, you know, like elimination, like top over the top rope type of match. Like there's
Yeah.
way more that
No,
deserve to have
those
an
days
actual
are
match.
long gone. Those days are
Yeah.
long gone.
Yeah. So I think that I would like to believe, because Triple H is in charge and because of how the women were booked in NXT when he was in charge of NXT, and obviously the talent that he helped cultivate in NXT in the women's division, I would like to believe that at some point he would want
I
to
think it's
highlight them on their own pay-per-view.
I agree with all that. My prediction for 2023 or dream prediction
Mhm. Mhm.
is there's this tag team called like Gorilla Tactics, and they're from New Japan. Their theme song might be probably in the top 3 of the greatest I've ever heard. Just for the sheer fact that when I listen to it, I want to run through a brick wall and just keep running. And
Remember what was it when I said, well, like when we mentioned that before, and it was like such an embarrassing moment because I was like, I couldn't remember what the Kool-Aid man said when he ran
oh
through the wall. So I was all like, what did I say? I was like, what's up or something. I don't remember
yeah,
what.
like it was. What's up?
Oh yeah, I was like, hey. No,
Hey,
I
hey,
think
no,
it was
hey,
like,
hey.
hey, like you're the Fonz, like hey. It's like, no, girl. He runs through the wall and doesn't say that. But
It's like
anyway, go ahead.
oh yeah. I want them to jump ship to WWE from New Japan because one of them, Tamo, I don't know his name. I'll get someone will comment his name or whatever. And his contract is up, and then
Mhm.
piggybacking off of that too. Fuck it, give me Jay White. Give me Jay White in WWE because that would be another Finn type of deal where you bring him in. Now you're getting him with the OC. You can even like have him feud with Judgment Day, put him on SmackDown, and he could, feud with guys like LA Knight or whatever. Like there needs to be more people from New Japan going to WWE and not just AEW. It's so like from what I've seen so far and everything with New Japan, it's like it's just fucking incredible. It's such a different style of wrestling, and once you really like get into it and watch a lot of matches, and you'll really love it.
Yeah.
So from that though, they only go to AEW or they go to Impact. There's no WWE door that's open for them now with Triple H in there. Really think it could happen this year, and not only
Mhm.
that, they could be mainstays and not just like undercard to get a cheap pop.
Mm-hmm. And he's young enough. I just looked. He's 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, not that that really matters, but like
No, but yeah,
Triple H,
but
Triple H is pushing some older guys. I mean, if you're looking like Finn is getting incredible TV time. He's 40, 41 years old at this point. So,
yeah,
not that it matters. AJ Styles is in his 40s. So, anything is possible.
we don't discriminate with age here,
Nope.
old or young. We don't, because I have a friend that's turning 26 tomorrow, and she's like, last night is 25. I'm like, make me younger. Make these red shirt years.
Aren't
that I
you
brought
just
up.
like 26? Like, are you
Yeah,
20? Okay, so then
Tamatonga, that's his name. Thank
so
you,
you're
Dave.
like you're like make me 25 like a year ago.
No, make me like 24, 23 again. That's what I
Oh,
feel.
okay.
I don't
Yeah.
feel 27. I feel like a
Yeah.
spring chicken.
Yeah. No, I feel
Get me
you.
on a futures deal. All right. Well, that was our show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of it. If you want to see more of what we are up to, you got to follow us on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and on Instagram Pitsy35 because I do post stories there. Just updating on my life, whatnot. And then follow Sarah on Twitter @SmarshXO. YouTube channel, if you're watching on either of our Twitters, YouTube channel for Sarah's is youtube.com/Sarah Marshall XO.
Yup.
Booyah! Sarah, do you want to add anything else before we wrap things up here?
Nope.
All right,
I've
sounds
got
great.
nothing.
That's
got nothing.
great. You let it all out in the field. That's what we like to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you could do it. All I got to do is try. See you next time.